What's poppin', everyone? It's your boy Levi. We're back here for another episode of Play Like a Pro. This episode we're going to be looking at GallaZor. He's a Fiora player from NA. And we're going to take a look at how he wins games so consistently. He's another top player with a pretty high percentage win rate. And this episode we're going to focus all about playing safe. This has kind of been the theme lately, as a lot of the top players have elected to not take on early objectives and kind of just hunt up their mastery until late game. So that's going to be the focus for this one again. And the build code is going to be the same for each game. Once again, always 3 games planned. Not too much deviation. We will look at a game where he gets his build contested and see how he adapts. That'll be the 3rd game that we look at, so stick around for that. Should be an exciting one. GallaZor is a pretty eccentric player. Fiora, definitely a fun character to watch. High mobility. Kind of low mobility at the same time though, but just micro dashing, good movement. We'll see how it goes. So let's jump into the first game. So starting, we're here in Hotel, and I think replays are fixed for this patch still, so we should be able to rewind and not if we have to. Hi Lenada, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hotel fairly busy, so he gets a good spawn here in Hotel. Not too big of anything to note. Drops his excess ore. And into Archery. So we're on the right side of Archery. And in the last episode, when we watched a close play, we talked a lot about the hunt rotation between Archery, Alley, and School. And we talked about how Eclipse a lot of the time runs into Fiora's on that route. So this time we'll get from the Fiora's perspective. Eclipse not in this game on Lennox, is on Felix, so we'll see if his route collides with Fiora's here. So because we got the right side of Archery range, we're going to be taking the inside of School. I believe this build finishes Forest, so we will have to use the Alley Hyperloop, I imagine, rather than walking there. But notice that he's also farming on path again, able to get the dog. Doesn't need a ton of items in Archery as well, so is able to get the School very quick. So that's going to be the Hyperloop there. Dashing in between, covers some distance, speed up his routing. And notice in his inventory he has 2 swords. He's going to start prepping another sword. I believe both of these build into one, but he does like to prep Monohoshizou, I believe, on route. Yeah, and there's the second sword. So drops the first one, builds 2 swords. This is the preferred one. If he can get the items for it, he will go for it. And then it's immediately start the hunting. Just needs the leather to finish his build, so he will get that off of the wolves that are going to spawn here. You're on time to make sure he gets them. Any seconds slower and he probably would have had to fight for them with the Felix. It's gonna look for the other hunts too, and they're also gonna be taken. So we're gonna path back up into School, I imagine. Or maybe we'll path into Hotel for the wolves there too. Gonna take this fight with Felix. Felix is full build. He's gonna get away from now though. Wolves are already gone, but that would have been the plan. And I imagine he's gonna hyperloop into Alley for the bears once he sees that these wolves are gone too. Maybe the wolves there as well. Yeah, there's Alley. So that, once again, completing the Archery, School, Alley, or Hotel hunt rotation. Pretty uncontested, is here on time. Grouping up all the hunts again, take them efficiently. And this build does run Spirit Culling, I believe, so no need to worry about SP. Wolves are here, but is able to get 2 bears first. Gonna take the fight with the Felix. Definitely not looking so hot at the start. Oh, good cancel and dodge. Gets the stun on the third proc. And the parry. Good kill. Very close fight though. Hey Snowy, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. And he is able to get all 3 bears, so we'll see what he does after that. Has a minute until day 2. We'll see if he goes alpha or battle zone or chooses to farm. Hi Feeling, how's it going? I think one thing that he could have inferred here is that because he knew the Felix came up through school and archery alley school is such a common route zone, this kind of feels like a little bit of a waste of time. I feel like definitely could have inferred that these wolves would have been gone from the Felix. Is gonna opt for just farming in school though. Now his original take was the wolves in forest. We'll see if he returns to them or he goes battle zone. Where's Alpha spawning? Alpha is going to be in alley, so it doesn't look like he's going Alpha. It's running the opposite way. Yeah, so back in the forest, we're probably going to see wolves here. I don't think he's going to run into this battle zone. A lot of the patterns that we've seen lately is that people are skipping day 2 objectives. We saw it with we see it with Frankie. We saw it with GallaZor here now too. Sometimes we see it with Eclipse, but the first battle zone alpha has been has been opted to skip a lot to like farm credits instead. I think that's interesting. It's a real big emphasis on these top players doing that. And all these hunts are respawning because he did have the timer for them. So he will be able to pick up everything. And he's already 10 weapon mastery on day 2. That's so quick. I think there's a pretty big priority for farming for blood and getting it on night 2/day 3. Preferably night 2. Into cemetery, this is going to be for the wolves here. It's daytime, so they will be spawning. With everyone in a battle zone too, or going to an objective, you're like more likely to get hunt rotations. Like even if it's someone else's hunt rotation, just for the lack of people that are on the map. Like I think there's 3 people that didn't opt to go to a battle zone or alpha. Fight with a Hemlu here. He's gonna get wall stunned. This is not looking very favorable. Yeah, gonna have to run away for this one. Should be able to get out though. Hemlu has nothing left. Gonna chase him in the red though. And follow him into red. Okay. This feels like a bit of an overchase from Hemlu. I don't think he's ever gonna catch him, and by the time he does, GallaZor is gonna heal back up. This feels very emotional. Yeah, GallaZor already back to over half. And Hemlu's still gonna force this. Basically full health now. He's doesn't even go for the wall stun. It is auto attack Hemlu. But yeah, with GallaZor's ult back up, that's gonna be a dead Hemlu. Interesting. Definitely a big overchase there. We're here at pond. Meter right here. This could be for our first transition. It's very close to blood too. And this is a 6 mastery lead on the Fiora over the Shukai. It's definitely not. Shukai definitely does not want this fight, I don't think. Does have all the stacks though. And it's gonna ult out. Kilo gonna look for the third party, not gonna get anything. Is gonna get the meteorite though. With GallaZor's ult down, does elect to walk away. I think that's the smart decision. But it's crazy, 14 weapon mastery already, has enough for blood. Probably doesn't want this fight, probably just wants to... probably just wants to get blood called in. And we're back in the chapel. So that's gonna be blood for Dan's Leaf, I imagine. Keep in mind that's the third sword he's built this game. And he will have hunts in forest up now and hunts in cemetery coming up soon. How much on this wolf do we have? 3 seconds, so they're coming up now as well. So good rotation again. And we'll see if he stays around for the battle zone since he's already here. Does have the dance leave, could look for a forest core. If he does stick around, this looks like a free battle zone anyway, so he might just stay for that. Yeah, free battle zone. Probably not going to get to Omega. Omega's spawning in forest. I guess he could if he wanted to. There's 3 people there. He's going to opt to just clear out the hunts of the zone, and it's either going to be Mithril Helm or Mithril Boots, I imagine, with the chain. It's just so much mastery too. Sitting at 47 hunts on day 3, 16 mastery, 2 kills. Not a ton of defense mastery due to not skirmishing, but... we'll see if he goes to Wick with this. I know GallaZor is really a player that doesn't show up to Wick too often.
Check if there's any alcohol.
I'm sure it depends on the lobby.
You still have a long way to go. Check if there's any alcohol.
But we're still back to farming. And there's 17. I think it's important to note too, like how many of his like hunt rotations have been wolf camps. Like he's only gotten the night 1 and night 2 bears in alley, but he's gotten like wolf camps in factory, he's got them in forest twice, cemetery twice. Didn't get them in hotel, got them in alley once, I believe. Like so many of his hunts have been wolves, and they probably would have been again if had you been here like 10 seconds earlier maybe. Leon looks like it just cleared out these hunts. Had to come here anyway for the hat though. He has Mithril Helm now.
One less inconvenience for you. Look for the fallen ones.
And he's here again for alley bears. Like he has the timer for them. They're not going to be up for a little bit, but the far one's going to be spawning now. It's going to get the alley wolves again, so that's another 2 alley wolves. And I'm pretty sure, like, even though he only has 2 transitions at the moment, like, he's pretty unfightable. Like, 18 weapon mastery, 2 transitions. Just gets a tree of life from this box, too. That looks like it's going to be for either Laurel or Blazing... not Laurel. Looks like it's going to be for Blazing Dress.
One bad move and you might get caught.
And now he's here for bears again. So it doesn't go to Wick. Let's see if pings on the Shukai, taking the bat. Misses R3, unfortunately. Probably would have been a kill if he had gotten the stun. I don't think he's gonna chase much longer. I think that was just to fill time until this bear was up. I want to say the big thing is for GallaZor is that he's definitely playing for late game this game. Like the whole game plan has been basically let's get to my strongest point and then we'll start to fight people. He did have the one fight with Felix, but that was kind of like their paths crossing, not really him looking for kills. He's not really bounty hunting around the map, you know, like he's doing his rotations and only fighting people that he runs into. And he kind of only relies on credits for transitions. Like he's called in blood, but the Mithril was a battle zone and the tree was an air supply. Like he could easily be sitting with one transition currently still. I think he's kind of fine with that just because the sheer amount of credits that he's farming. Like he's close to being able to call in a 4 score and probably going for another blood even. I will say though, if you do try to replicate this playstyle, this is like an example of it working, right? Like he's 20 mastery on day 3, or the end of day 3. Like that's very, very good and really quick. But you're susceptible to falling behind if you don't get your hunt rotations because you're not skirmishing anyone, you're not building that defense. You're kind of just going to be squishy, you're not going to have transitions, and you're probably going to be sitting around 13 weapon mastery here. I think this playstyle is super strong currently though. I think it's a little bit better than like trying to snowball your way through the early game, but if you do fall behind, you'll just spend a lot of time like wandering the map. We're back in the factory, probably going to get the wolves that he had gotten here. However, a certain Rozzy player got one of the other ones on the other side, so stole those away because I was here first. He's definitely stronger than me though, that's why I left. I probably had cams. No, poorly Dylan. There's the stun. I don't think Dylan's gonna be able to get away from this one. Oh, gets stuck on the wall for the dash. Maybe she gets away now. She certainly doesn't ever turn it. She's gonna try though. So the second windshield. There's the shield. Yeah, and that's gonna be unfortunate for Lee Dylan. So that'll be myth shield. 4 transitions now. And we're at 130 credits, so probably gonna be going for another blood. TP in the forest. Is that gonna be final zone? Are we already at final zone? Oh, we'll see. Chapel will be final zone. Wolves coming up in 4 seconds. Probably looking for bats to call in cameras too. He's kind of got a lot though. It's probably not too big of a deal. But there's me dying out here because I got chased in the red. I don't think, yeah, Hatmoose didn't even get the kill even. I just died the timer. Sees the Jenny with Wick, so even though he's 20 mastery, he doesn't want that fight. I don't know how to play Fiora. I think she is a good character. I don't really know how to play Fiora either, but I think she's pretty good. She's very popular in tournaments and KR, so I think people think she's strong. Now the amp variant I think is a little bit stronger than the auto attack variant, but now I'm gonna go down here. Oh, gets himself out actually. Oh, maybe not. Really good play by Leon, get himself out of there. That was kind of crazy actually. But at 20 mastery, you can start looking for kills, especially with the Jenny's Wick timing out soon. See what kind of last minute prep GallaZor does as well. He's got 140 credits, so maybe not going to be over to get to that transfer console. GallaZor plays a lot of auto. Yeah, I do think amp is stronger, but I don't ever see him on amp. He kind of only plays the auto attack version. I think they're both good, but I think amp is definitely stronger. If I choose auto, I'd use Camilla. They're similar, I imagine. Not in like kit, but like similar playstyle, probably. I think Fiora is a little bit more safer. And two hands a very good weapon skill. So there's second blood. Amp leaves a lot of room for error, for sure. That's not most Amp characters though. Right, like you miss your, like Fiora is technically all skill shots. W kind of being a skill shot. I think Amp is more like weaving in and out of the fight, where like auto attack is more just like brute force your way through. Finally bought your good girl Estelle. Nice. Estelle's a cool character. Whiff's the ult there. It doesn't matter though. It's gonna be able to get the kill. And we're in the wider zone for the final zone, probably because playing the Jenny in that small area, her ult takes up pretty much the whole thing, so that'd be a little hard. GallaZor knowing that he has the timer advantage from pushing the Yon out earlier, plus he hasn't used much red time and has a few kills. It's just gonna time out the Yon, play safe while his ult's down, just in case the Jenny decides to run over as well. All good plays. I hope Estelle gets a summer skin. I want to see like Estelle, Hayes, and Laura, I think, get summer skins. Because I think you could do like water guns for Hayes and like different water guns for the different weapons. Like pool noodles for Laura. And then like some type of like a fire hose, I guess, for Estelle.
Don't move so much. I'm getting
19 mastery on this Jenny, just gonna engage. And there's only one way GallaZor can really play this fight. Dodge E with his E. Or dodge W with his E, and then two-hand the ult. Super simple fight for him. Yon is definitely a character that scares me. Good Yon controls the tempo of a fight. Good Yon is so hard to fight. So I feel like I just get CC comboed and I have to stand still. No one's in queue at the moment? That's unfortunate. I'll probably queue a bit later today. I'd pay any amount of money for a Summer Laura skin. What's popping on Miracle? I would too. I think like Summer Laura with like, obviously the swimsuit would be the highlight, but like just beating you over and over with a pool noodle and it makes like the pool noodle slap sound. I think that'd be so funny. So that was game one. Really good matchup at the end. Like I said, dodge carpet with E and then two-hand the ultimate. It's really only how you can play that fight and win. Tough matchup for Jenny. We'll have a look at game two, the same build. I've been saying this for a few seasons, so I want a Lumia Airlines Battle Pass. That'd be kind of hype. I support that.
Stop bothering me. Just do what you
Flight attendant Emma, pilot Alex, and Air Marshal Isaac. They might have to put you on the skin design team. Alright, spawn hotel. Keeps this spawn because it's pretty crowded. Not much he can do to run to another spawn. But that Felix, is he weak? Felix is pretty strong, I'd say. Definitely pretty strong. I'm sure he's going to catch nerfs tomorrow, in fact. I'd say Felix is really good. Left side of archery this time, so instead of running to the right, we're going to run down and farm the chickens. He's going to prep his E on the chicken so they can E over the wall here. Just speed up routing a little bit. If you go back to the previous episode of the Play Like a Pro series, the last game of the Lennox episode, I talk about Felix, and we watch a Felix game. That might interest you. So I think GallaZor saw pings here on this side of school, so he's gonna opt to run to this far side, even though he like looted from this side from the chickens over here. I think that's just to make sure he gets all his items. We'll see whether he chooses to run the alley or run in the forest. He's kind of split 50-50. Is just gonna run into forest. Make sure to pick up all the speed gates too. Will you be covering squads gameplay for this series? I know there are a lot of good players that only play teams. That's a good question. Maybe I will. At some point. I'm not really much of a squads player myself, so I don't know how much like analyzing I'd be able to do about squads games, but I'd certainly be down to try it at some point. Some other people in my comment section have been asking about more squads gameplay. Back into hotel, so he's going to be able to get the wolves. I don't think he's going to stay here for this meteorite. I think this is just simply to get the wolves. Didn't get to build Monohoshi's out either. Kind of just on the one spear for this. It's a lot of early damage from Aya. Does she have any transitions? She doesn't. That was so much damage. And then we're here in alley again for the bears. Continuing the rotation. Gonna get ambushed by an ISIL. Instant EOA. Not interested in fighting. Gonna probably fortify these bears and then see what he can grab on the lower half. Wolves are gone here, but he'll probably be able to grab this bear. I think that's probably the smart play. I'm surprised ISIL didn't stay for the bear. Or maybe he did. For now, I discovered Chloe. She is really insane. The damage and all make enemies cry so easy. I really like Chloe a lot. I think it's probably like top 3 favorite characters. It's going to be weird having no accessories on route. That probably means item scaling will go up, right? Either item scaling or character scaling. Like, I'm sure the intention, there's Monohoshi's out, is to make like the game still feel how it currently feels, just without one less item. I'm curious to see whether they put the power into the characters or they put it into like items. What makes me think characters more is that we just had like full overhaul of like arm pieces to get nerfed. I don't really think it makes sense to like remove accessories and then just put the power back into like arm pieces. I don't think you can put the power into weapons. I think that'll be too toxic. So I think it will probably go into base averages, maybe even scalings, or maybe they'll just leave it without an arm piece. But I feel like some of the arm piece stats are like way too beneficial to like just ignore that this character lost X amount of stats. So we got some of the hunts in alley, and we got some of the hunts here at the bottom side of avenue. There's no Sylvia or Vanya in this lobby, so he is able to pick up some of the avenue hunts. Those are typically the 2 people that you see clear out avenue. And we're going to return to forest for the wolves. Once again, we're not going battle zone or alpha. Yeah, I think there's a dev letter tomorrow. I'm not sure what it's on, but we'll see what they talk about in it. We're getting dev letter and patch notes, I think. So we're back in forest, and GallaZor's not going to be able to run down the bottom into chapel to get to cemetery, so we'll see how he adapts here. We also see him skip wandering through archery this time, probably to get his build online faster and get Monohoshi's out. Is this week the patch week? I believe so. I think it's tomorrow. I think it's been 2 weeks. The thing I always forget. We're talking about the devil letter. Gonna take the hunts here in Uptown. Bears won't be here because it's daytime. Still have
If there's any alcohol.
a minute on them, basically.
Check if there's any
So I don't think we'll stick around for them. Probably gonna keep moving around the map. I use medkit only for the transfer consoles. Should probably be using more than just medkit. Definitely recommend calling in transitions through it. What's the next letter about? I have no idea, actually. I'm planning on checking at the end. We'll do a little Q&A plus talk about some of the dev letters. Back in the forest here. Probably gonna path all the way up to Alley and pick up some of the hunts on the way to where the bears are respawning. The meteorite there, though, we'll see if he still goes Alley. 10 mastery, so we're a little bit less than we were the previous games, I believe. 100 credits, so we're not close to blood yet. Character change or map change? Oh, it might be a map change, actually. I think it's been a while since we got map changes. Or animal changes. One of the two. So he had picked up the hunts in Avenue beforehand, like the lower side. So they should be respawning soon, and I think he's gonna have the top side hunts as well soon. There's the dog. Yeah, I think this board just appeared, so.
bad move and you might get caught.
I always hope to become good at the game like these guys. They play a lot of hours. I also don't think you're that far off, Feeling. I think you're a lot better than you think you are. Nicky's a tough character because you're so matchup dependent. Like, you just whiff parry, and even a good matchup's like the fight's over for you. I wouldn't judge yourself based on skill of Nicky. I think your macro's probably pretty good from what I've seen in games. And from the streams I've seen.
Check if there's
You got a lot of good habits. And there's wolves. So we did give up the bears in Alley, but we opted to trade that for the hunts in Avenue. I would assume it's a mix of, one, he knew hunts in Avenue were respawning, but two, also the meteorite might attract people there. And he needs 4 credits for blood, so just gonna quickly grab those. He kind of starts off hunts the same way. It's always Q, auto, W, auto.
Check if there's any alcohol.
And that'll be Dansleaf again. Doesn't have enough to call in a sword just yet. Might be able to run up to archery in time to grab one. Gonna look to take a fight with an Ava here. 3 mastery lead. Ava whiffs the E over the wall. That's probably just a dead Ava. There's the stun. She's gonna have another E here in a second. Oh, did he not? He didn't get the second part of the E. That's unfortunate. Not gonna be able to follow the Ava. I tried Dota 2, so Dota more easy for me. I've never played Dota. I unfortunately don't know the comparison between the two. Probably not gonna get into this battle zone with a loose blood, so opts to just farm instead. Aiden need buffs? I think Aiden's a little weak, yeah. Probably could see some buffs. I think he has a decent play rate though. I haven't checked the stats in a while. Has enough for the sword to call in now, so calls that in. Not going to be much hunts here. He's going to see pings on the bottom side of Alley. See if he's still passed that way. Looks like he still wants that fight with whoever it is. Oh, I was probably checking to see if they were low from Omega, actually.
Check if there's any alcohol. That side looks more interesting. One less inconvenience for you. That side looks more interesting. Check if there's any alcohol.
I think had GallaZor been able to prep a rusty sword, he probably would have gone into that battle zone archery, or had he had not stopped the fight to Ava, which realistically should have gotten a kill for, just messed up his E a little bit. Probably would have gone into archery. I try Aiden with full crit, just give him more damage. I think the current build for Aiden's like a mix of crit and AP, so make sure you have some damage in there too.
Convenience for you.
$1,500 damage per short combo. That's pretty good. That's like enough to one rotation the squishy. So I also want to point something out really here with how GallaZor is moving around the map. He's never been in more than 2 or 3 zones per full day. Like, he got his build, right? Got in Forest, and because Chapel was closed, he went Forest, Uptown, and then back to Forest. And then on day 2, it was the brief stop in school, but he mostly spent a lot of that time in Avenue and Alley. And we're coming close to night 3 now, and he's still just gone between Alley and Ave. Keeping control of these 2 zones, it's super safe. He's gonna have a fight with Daniel here, it looks like. This is R1, probably trying to read the dash behind. There's the shield from Dansleaf. Gets a stun, good read off of that, and then parries the scissors. I think that's really smart. I was really curious how he's going to use his 2-handed weapon skill here. If it was going to be on like trying to time the ult pop out of Daniel, or if it's on the scissors after he pops out. I think that's definitely the right play on the scissors. Daniel won't have enough damage to kill after that. He's going to take the blood from Daniel, so that's going to be another blood. That'll be for red shoes. Did you just call in slippers in a slippers zone, GallaZor? Or... I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna assume he got this console and saw there's no slippers left in this zone. I better not see any slippers in any of these boxes. He's gonna chase the Elena off here. But is with 100 crit chance and full transition and moon potion. Top sword from blood Wickelwing. That's a lot to get each game though. I don't know how consistently you'll get that. That is some good damage though. Ekion gonna pick up Wick here. And die.
That side looks more interesting.
Hyperloop's into Hospital here. It's probably the safer choice than Sim, considering Hospital's the yellow zone. I don't think he actually needs anything in Hospital though. With Ekion dead though, that's gonna give him pretty much rights over the lobby. I think I would call him the strongest player in the lobby. We'll do a quick mastery check. 14 on Sua, 15 on Aya, 15 on Felix, 14 on Emma, 13 on Elena. So yeah, I'd say he's pretty much the strongest in the lobby now that Ekion's dead and Wick's not on the field. So he will be able to take control over these gold boxes. Gonna look for the one in Cemetery, I imagine. Got good food as well. Without that, he does 1,000 damage if crit landed in all auto. Oh, interesting. I find Aiden pretty hard to play, personally, but I'm also just not really that big of a fan of him.
One less inconvenience for you.
Once again, Cemetery Wolves. Just like full knowledge of what wolves are spawning at all times. It's so interesting to watch. Blazing Dress gonna trigger the boar. He's gonna get double mutant boar. Alexander in the box, that's gonna be a disenchant. Probably not better than Red Shoes. Not that hard, you just only land 2 ability properly. I don't like skull shots. Not a fan of having no land abilities. I like auto attackers. Factory hunts. We have an Elena here. Is she gonna ambush him? I don't think she wins that. Gonna opt for the purple chest. Lena, Hayes, Waywers. Yeah, I agree. Definitely not characters for me. Elena kind of just ratting here, it looks like. Doesn't look like they're gonna take the fight with Sui either. That's probably not favorable. Just idly watching by, not looking to engage. Playing for placement. Guys are gonna get both. It's gonna get another blood weapon too. It's 3 blood items and a blazing dress now. Yeah, she's probably just playing for placement. She's just gonna... No, they didn't check. Typically, these type of games probably won't happen to you. He's gonna get another gold box. It's dice, so I'm gonna put that on for the crit. But these games probably won't happen where you get 3 bloods and just kind of take control of the lobby. But they're nice to see how he plays while ahead too. Has all of Uptown to himself. Gonna call in binoculars to make some cams. Prepping for final zone. I would like to see him use some of his credits to make trap parts, I think. And once again, he's still farming, trying to get that 20 mastery. Kind of plays the same way every game. There's the recon drones. Probably go to EMPs once he gets to dock. I don't think we'll see him call in batteries, even though he has X's credits. We'll probably just build batteries and or find batteries in boxes. They just sit in bush. Yeah, it happens. I mean, they're really behind in mastery. It's not like they can fight anyone. They've only got 14 mastery, so they don't really have another play. Full clear of Uptown here. The body is just fully looted. So I think GallaZor just saw some pings in Uptown. So it looks like, yeah, he's going to hold the gate here. And I think this is a really smart play because he knows they either have to TP in or walk into Uptown. So just going to hang around here. He's going to see the ping and dock, so I think he's going to assume that whoever was in here TP'd in. He probably doesn't know there's 2 people, probably only 1. Only gonna be forced to TP in next to GallaZor though, so probably be an engage. Gonna be hard to catch her though. She doesn't really have anywhere to run though. Felix lurking behind. GallaZor can kind of just take these fights, dude. He's like huge lead in mastery. He's just not gonna put himself in a place to get third partied. Doesn't have ult now, so has to be a little careful. And we'll probably see him take the inside zone. I don't think you want to take a fight with Sua in this area. It's just too tight, too narrow. Felix gonna get the jump on GallaZor there. A lot of damage down. Burn the Dan's Leaf shield too. Gonna have to reset and heal. I say that's a win for Felix mainly though. He's gonna get third party by the Elena. It's kind of fortunate for GallaZor. He's gonna get the kill on Elena and then Felix gets frozen. Gets the E reset as well. That's gonna be dead Felix. Well, so pretty lucky third party there. See how he handles the Sua fight. Dodges the Q. There's the ult. I'm curious to see how he uses weapon skill in this fight. There it is. Oh, it doesn't get the last auto. Sua might be able to get away here. She has E coming back up. Yeah, she's gonna heal so that can conserve timer. I think who to buy? I have 2 mage and Estelle and Chloe, so maybe I don't know which character that is. If you like Aiden though, you should play Aiden. I support buying characters that you like the playstyle of. You shouldn't have to worry too much about meta in this game. There's the batteries. It's gonna just call them in for recon drone. How many batteries did you buy, GallaZor?
Don't move so much.
It's just mashing the button. I do want to take a note of how he uses his 2H. It's probably gonna be if he gets hit by Q. I imagine you 2H immediately so that you can block the E. Oh, Elena? I think Elena's a little bit of a rough spot at the moment. I think she's really good in team modes from what I've heard though. Yeah, Elena. When you get hit by a Q over the wall, though, so it has no way of following that up. Holds on to 2H skill. Has the ult, too. This is looking really favorable. It has timer advantage as well. Good dodge on the E. Dodge on the Q again. It's gonna have ult stun coming up soon. There it is. It just kills.
This is nice. You didn't have
Play
to
with Russian language? Oh, gotcha. I unfortunately don't speak any Russian. 100 Hansel in this game. I think that was a pretty straightforward fight. Dodges, Sewa Qs. I didn't have to 2H. The only Q he really got hit by was the one over the wall, and Sewa can't follow up, so not too much of a threat there. Did a really good job of moving around. Yeah, very good dodging. All right, we have one more game left, and this is going to be how he plays when his early game gets contested. We'll see how he adapts. Same build. Still going hotel school, or hotel archery school forest. So right off the start, he's going to get double spawned with someone. Just gonna run right ahead of the Shukai, so make sure he gets 3 out of the 5 boxes.
Give me a bottle of good liquor, and I'll be up in a second.
A little bit of padding weird there. And gonna opt for 2 distributions as well. So I think they got mostly everything out of that. We'll see if he still goes Maho Shizao. Opted to not go it until later last time, just because he was so delayed. Theodore versus Johan, who wins? Probably Theodore. Unless it's like lore related, then probably Johan. Archer got the left side again, so we'll see him take the left side of school. Not gonna take the chickens this time. Probably because he has to race a Yuki. Yuki gonna... okay. So Yuki opts for this trash can here, and there are items in it. It is part of this distribution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here around the outside. I don't really like this play just because Fiora does have a wall dash, and you're kind of racing the Fiora for these items. So I think you do have to get ahead of her because she is going to be able to eat into this distribution quicker than you can walk around the wall. So I would have liked to see him get all of these first and try and race the Fiora. But if he gets all the items anyway, it doesn't really matter. 5 people on 1 TP. Yeah, hotel's very crowded anyway. It's gonna still get ahead of her anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter too much, but... There's the E. And it looks like he got everything anyways. So, double spawned in hotel, had to go through 2 distributions. Had to go for 2 distributions in school. And the path through forest is getting taken by this Yuki now, so another double distribution. We'll see how he adapts. Which character is the most easy? In terms of like mechanics, probably Jackie. Yuki's probably 1 step above Jackie even. I like that he ran past the Yuki. Oh, tried to read the E. I like that he ran past the Yuki into the next distribution. Still missing 2 items, so that's not going to be a favorable fight. Yuki only missing 1. 11's also pretty mechanically basic. Yeah, I agree. 11 as well. I think 11's playstyle is even simpler than Jackie's probably. Jackie, you at least have like a couple different playstyles to go through, but 11's kind of the same unless you're playing Amp. Yuki was card for you? Maybe try 11 then. I think Jackie's closer to Yuki than 11 is. So we're back in the school. He knows that Yuki got the forest hunts by the pings, and based on the pathing, probably saw the pings for Yuki taking the hotel hunts. So we're just gonna straight skip them, and then we're gonna head to Avenue. Now we know Avenue hunts are gone because Sylvia's runs that Avenue path that we looked at Frankie's episode of Play Like a Pro. I just want infinitely aggressive charging on every enemy in my vision. I guess that's kind of like 11 Jackie, but like maybe even Leon. Leon's probably okay to do that. It's a little tough because even like the characters that just like want to like run in a straight line at you, you still like can't just run in a straight line. So gotta be a little bit careful about it, but I think the ones that have to be less careful are probably like Leon, Jackie, and 11, yeah. Bianca's kind of that way a little bit too, but she's not a basic attacker. She kind of just like someone shows up on her screen, she just ults. We're still missing 2 items here. Probably why we're in factory. Get those last 2 items. You try 11? Yeah, for sure. I like 11 a lot, especially in Cobalt. I definitely should have ran onto the GallaZor here. I probably didn't register in my brain that he was missing an item still. That probably could have been a kill for me there. Magnus is quite aggressive. Got CC to the moon a few days ago. Yeah, Magnus is another one. Especially if you're playing Bonk Magnus. You can just run at people. And the only thing is that you don't have an ability spell, so you will get kited a lot of the time. Good pick, Bull. And I think because we're finally getting our build online, GallaZor might stay here for Valor Zone, trying to cover some of the mastery he's going to miss from hunt rotations to get this build. He's only level 7, so he's a little bit behind. Estelle's kind of like that too. She fits that style.
One bad move and you might get caught.
There's the Bianca. Yeah, like GallaZor showed on his screen for half a second and he ulted.
One less inconvenience.
I probably should have stayed here and fought the Bianca without ult, but GallaZor's forcing this really hard. Doesn't have the items for it. Marcus is what I could recommend. He passively builds attack speed to every basic attack. Yeah, Marcus also fits that. I think he's a little weak at the moment though, unfortunately. Despite how that looks, I do actually win this fight. We won't see it because GallaZor's gonna respawn. Super risky respawn here, but I do actually win that fight. Chooses to spawn in Alpha Zone with someone in it just to get back on his hunt rotation. If you're a newer player, I advise against that a little bit. It's definitely a risky play. Fiora doesn't really have the politics to do that either. She kind of just will die. But he went for it. But that will put him back on the path to run into Chapel, and that's kind of the zone that we've seen from him a couple games to try and go into. We'll look for the Wolves in Cemetery, probably. Try to play Rat's Trap. I think that's going to get a little bit disincentivized in full release. On Celine? I don't think you can play Rat on Celine. You think you have to be very aggressive on Celine. You kind of have to take control of objectives. If it works out for you, though, go for it. But I think her dominant playstyle is playing aggressive. Gonna get the hunts here in Chapel. Lots of mutant chickens to grab. We're on decent pace for blood. We're about just over halfway there. 10 away from 4 score as well. Gonna opt to TP back in the alley. That's gonna be for the bears. The wolves are here too. A lot of people here. Back on that hunt rotation. And he's made up the mastery he's kind of lost by having a scuffed early game. So really good adaptation. This is kind of where he fought the ISIL the previous game. commits the ult really quickly. Not gonna get much out of this Camilla fight. Probably gonna look to get the bear and run away. Not even, just gonna leave. When I have about 3 transitions, I just want to camp and kill someone, but no people ever come to me. It probably depends on where you're hanging out. I don't really know Celine too well, but if you hang out at objectives, people should come eventually. I win because the last enemy dies to Wickling. As you get higher and higher levels, that'll happen less and less. You should probably be going to Wick as Celine, though. Celine has a pretty good Wick take. Is gonna get the bears here. So I think you got 2 of the 3 bears, which isn't bad. Temple bears are probably up here, so that's gonna be the next rotation. Is a bit early for what he chooses to do on day 3, so we'll see if he goes battle zone or opts to just farm credits. Did get a tree off that last bear, so that's gonna be for Laurel Wreath. Once again, just has this one sword. Wasn't able to build Monohoshi's out because of the scuffed early game as well, so probably feeling weaker. Wants to get that Dance Leaf online before he takes any real fights. You can kind of see the damage difference between the two. Just fighting the Camilla and fighting in that battle zone. Those combos, she drinks her sanity dry, yeah. That character makes my head hurt. Her and Adina, I just don't enjoy playing at all. Is gonna opt for battle zone. Gonna get some bears here too to help with XP and mastery. Mutant bear here. We'll have to fight a Shoichi. I'm really curious to see when he uses his ult charges. Theoretically, Shoichi seems like a bad matchup, being able to jump around. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Gets the stun and then auto E. I don't really like that either, but I think it's a little bit of a lot of damage, but still really good. I think it's super interesting the way he uses his ult charges there. If I'm gonna see if I can go back. Hopefully the replay doesn't break. Okay, cool. So the way he uses his ult charges here against the Shoichi is that when Shoichi kind of like telegraphs his movement, it's super hard to hit Shoichi as he's jumping around from dagger to dagger, right? But at some points, Shoichi does have to walk to his dagger, not W to it. And that's kind of when he uses the 3 charges. So we're gonna see W there, and then there's dagger skill. There's the first E. When he's locked into the E animation, we see the first ult charge. We see him W there, and then because he has to walk to this dagger here because he W back onto Fiora, we're gonna see the second ult come out. And we only have 1 dagger left, and we know he has W up. So he's gonna W to this dagger, and I guess he could W behind realistically, but he's not going to get it in time because he's going to read the last dagger and ult for ult 3 for the stun. So really well played there, I think. I think if Fruit Cake was a little quicker, probably could have killed GallaZor there, but really good play there. Didn't show mess up is all, it went off the map. Actually, when Shoichi ults next to a wall, they all stack on top of each other. So it's like actually more beneficial to like ult in tight corridors rather than have them spread out. I'll see if I can show it real quick. It doesn't actually like go off the map now. Right, so let me get my pen out. So instead of like the ult being like this and like having 2 of them go off the map, because the wall actually like counts as a barrier, it puts like what, oh, blue's not a good color. We'll use yellow. So it puts 1 and 2 right next to each other, and 3 and 4. And because you alt next to a wall, it'll always put the first one like underneath you. So you can actually instantly W onto someone and then still get the reset, because by the time it takes for you to W onto someone, this will actually just like attract to you. There's a really good clip of it somewhere. I don't have it. I think it's on Twitter somewhere. I think it's on Smug or Snipey's Twitter. But it shows like the interaction of alting onto someone when you alt next to a wall. That's pretty good. It's definitely a good tech for Shoichi players to learn. But yeah, if the tighter the space that you're in, the better for Shoichi. So you actually do want to try and fight him in open areas if you can. I'm surprised GallaZor didn't try to like meet him out here, but he got the fight anyway. I've only came across BMO. I've seen BMO a few times in normal games, yeah. That guy is getting better at Shoichi, but I think he still needs a little bit of like mechanical practice. But I think he's relatively new to the game, so he's definitely on his way. He'll probably be a good player soon.
Check if there's any alcohol.
Shoichi's just really fun characters. I'm glad he's having fun with the game at the very least. So 166 credits. Gonna grab Mithril for winning the battle zone and has enough for blood. Interesting to go for baked potatoes over just steak. I guess it doesn't really waste time. I think baked potatoes are like 25 more than steak. Like, I guess it's like more optimal, but I kind of feel like they're just the same thing. Yeah, it's probably less time too. That's a good point. That feels kind of like Yasuo and LoL. My favorite character is still Kale. You just hit your keyboard hard and really fast. After these, watch pento kills or you die. Fair enough. I would say Xayah player. Xayah Kaisa. Mithril Blitz coming out. Has Laurel, so doesn't need to go Mithril Helm. And clears out the hunts in the battle zone again. We're back up to 15 mastery on day 3. A little bit behind from the other games, but like considering the early game he had, that's way ahead of where he realistically should be for this game. So you'll see him call Dance Leaf here. I just want to reiterate, he had double looting zone in hotel, school, and forest. And it's still this ahead in mastery. Shoichi like Katarina a little bit. Yeah, it's more so Akali, I think is a good way of putting it. Somewhere between the two. She has like, or I guess Shoichi has like the dagger dancing that Katarina has, but doesn't really have like the all-in team fight. He's like more of a single target assassin like Akali. TP's to alley probably to get the bears again. Is gonna run into Frankie. I think that's just gonna be a kill. A hybrid, you could say? Yeah, absolutely. Mutant Bear, that's gonna be a lot of XP. Didn't get any transitions off Frankie. Or any rare resources, rather. It's gonna grab a tree off the bear, though. He looks really fun. I might try him since my experience with Razi so far wasn't that great. Yeah, I mean, they got completely different playstyles, so if you don't like Razi's playstyle, Shoichi might be a good character to pick up. He's a bit difficult. I would recommend, if you're gonna try him, like, don't worry about winning games. Shoichi doesn't really win games a lot. He, like, tries to get lots of kills during games, as, like, most of the assassins try to do. But, like, don't beat yourself up if you play slow. Just worry about getting a lot of kills. Razi does have a high skill cap. Do you think she has a high skill cap or a high skill ceiling? Because I feel like in terms of like playing the character, she's kind of relatively simple to play, but There is a lot of stuff you can do with her, and she has a huge amount of outplay potential with her E. We're back into Temple for the returning berries. It's gonna get 4 score off that bear, so that'll be for Chain of Thorns. Razzie and Nadine. Yeah, I think Nadine also is a character with a lot of like skill ceiling. I think her barrier to entry is a little bit higher because you really have to know hunt rotations. But I don't think she's overly too complicated though.
One bad move and you might get caught.
And of course, I got wicked this game, but I died getting third-partied by a Bianca, so once again, GallaZor will be the strongest in the lobby. Is going to take control of the gold chest here in Temple. Gonna get a Guardian suit. Every character except for the Camillo is amp and melee. Well, every character like wants to fight in melee range except for the Ava. So I think Blazing Dress is still gonna be the play. Too much value out of it. There's a knot up, so we'll probably see him continue on the pond. Or out of pond, rather. Razzie, in my experience, it takes patience. Can't really just spam abilities like other characters. Yeah. I'd say that's fairly true. I think she can get to a point where she can do that, but for the most part, yeah, if you just kind of like base roll your abilities, you'll just die. Patience is definitely something that's been a struggle for me to learn on Razzie. It took a couple seasons to try and get that into my head, and I still don't really do it that well. I tried to play Camillo about 2 years before. He was really hard. I think that character is so hard. I can't play that character. Fight with Bianca here. Good dodging on the Arcana skill. Looking for the Q dodge, it looks like. There it is. Good movement to get that dodge out. Doesn't even need the 2H the ult. Just great movement coming out of GallaZor there. I mean, I'm sure you improved. It's been almost 2 months since. I think there's just like a lot of core mechanics with Eternal Return that are just harder to learn than a lot of other games. That was really good music. That was really good movement on that Bianca fight, though. We're gonna have the Shoichi fight again. Let's see how he R's. Misses the first art. There's a second art, or that was the third art, rather. Same thing, though. Shoichi walking to a dagger and gets punished for it. It's always auto attack R, auto attack W. Super smart play there. At this point, when you're 20 mastery, this far, like 5 transitions, I think the only thing that really matters is R3. So it doesn't really matter that he missed the first R. And we're gonna head in the cemetery. Probably to prep for the final zone. I'm sure we're gonna see the binoculars call in for GallaZor soon. What's in this? There it is. Literally right on cue. 4 binoculars get called in. So it's prepping for final zone. Has the cameras. I would like to see EMPs. It's got 140 credits. Don't think we'll see a blood call in, but I have another chapel final zone. There's a probably could chase this Shukai down here too, but opts to save the timer. I think that's the smart play. Chasing that Shukai doesn't really do anything. Get yourself third party by Ava. Forces the Ava to E backwards. I think that's just so he can clear the traps out here. I don't think he was actually ever going to take that fight. I go sleep. I don't know in what time zone you are, but my clock, it's 17 past midnight. Yeah, I'm in North America, so it's only afternoon here, but have a good sleep. Thank you for coming to stream and chatting. I appreciate it.
Check if there's any alcohol.
So Gals are going to opt for the smaller final zone. I think that's a little bit better in this case because he doesn't have to worry about the Jenny from the previous time we were in Chapel. And it looks like he's going to get an ABC angle here.
Mistakes are okay, but failure is not an option.
I think it's also easier to chase down Ava if she were to be in this zone rather than chase her all the way around the zone out there. We're going to see him leave at 54. So he does have the ABC angle. And pretty much going to get a perfect timing here. They're like right in the middle of their fight. He's going to have the timer advantage on both of them. And this is pretty much... yeah, this is going to be a GallaZor win. Just doesn't get the last hit, but can chase the Shukai all over the island if he wanted to. Really good play by GallaZor. Really good timing on the ABC. I like that he paused to let the play develop too. Didn't just like floor it into the Ava trying to secure the kill. Waited for her to get much lower and then both of them to go over the wall. Overall, I think it's really clear to me at least that GallaZor really prioritizes playing for that final zone. He's either there with like 3 kills or 0 kills. It doesn't really matter to him. That's just what the game plan is. To get as strong as possible and let your mechanical skill carry the fights. It'll be super interesting, I think, to watch how the state of Eternal Return evolves with the hunt and map changes. I feel like we're getting a bigger shift from snowballing the early game with transitions to like hunt rotations and keeping mastery up for the late game. Even the players we like have watched have put less emphasis on Wick lately, and some of them don't even go to battle zones. It's just all about farming mastery and getting credits for call-ins. With all the hunt changes coming to the dev journal, I think we're going to see a bigger priority on hunt rotations, which I'm super excited for. I'd do your best now to start learning them before the full release. But I will check on that dev journal to see what tomorrow is. Does it say at the bottom of the previous one? I think it does, right? On the next dev journal, we'll cover changes to save plans. So we're getting save plans tomorrow, which will include the tactical skills we introduced today. That's a little exciting. I think that's like the least exciting of all the changes, but that's the one that we'll get tomorrow. And I believe tomorrow's patch day. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. But that's the 3 games I have prepared. I will take any questions if we have any questions about any of the games or hunt rotations or anything, but if not, no worries. Why is Isaac so damn strong? On God. That character... There's a few characters that I think that are super strong right now. I guess we can take a look at the stats, actually. But I personally think Isaac, Felix, and Daniel are like a little bit stronger than they need to be. Maybe even Ekion, too. Do you think this works on other characters like Priya? I would check out what Lexi's doing, because I think Lexi's been having some success on Priya lately. I'm sure, like, farm routes probably aren't the greatest thing for her, so I don't think she scales super hard with mastery, but I wonder if anyone's like figured out a way to like solve Priya for solos. It might just be a trap angle. I was watching one of your guides earlier and noticed me and my friend were dead in a game you were narrating. I've gotten a few messages from some of my friends being like, hey, I was in this game, I was dead on the ground, and they like post the timestamp. I think it's like kind of funny. I don't know if I was the one that killed you or you were just in the game, but it does happen on occasion. It was so long ago, but it was funny to notice. I'm glad you got a kick out of it then. I always feel bad, like, when I post, like, because, like, I have to post gameplay at some point, right? Like, I can't just always do these, like, reviews, and when I do guides, I like to use my own gameplay if I can. But I feel bad, like, a lot of the time, if, like, I post a fight, and it's, like, someone, like, blatantly misplays, or, like, they make, like, a troll play. That kind of, like, sucks to post. Like, I like posting, like, really close fights. I think those are really fun to watch. And I think with, like, the way that matchmaking currently is, there's not a lot of, like, close fights. Like, I feel like I either, like, at least in normal games, like, I either, like, kind of roll my matchup or I get third partied. So hopefully once full game releases, I will be able to post some higher quality games for, like, guides and stuff. I know a lot of them sometimes just end up being, like, a little bit whatever. I main William, so I'm used to being dead in Rousey lobbies. I suck at fighting her. The trick with William, I think, would be probably try to line up your, like, W pullback with the way that Rousey's moving. It's definitely a tough matchup for sure, but you also can use your range to your advantage. Like, if you just walk into her, it's, like, fairly 50-50. If she, like, comes around a corner and gets the jump on you, it's a little bit harder. But when you, like, when you get the W stun on the pullback, you kind of want to, like, ult instantly, and that gives you options to, like, kind of dance around with her baseballs. Your baseball range from your ult is longer than her auto attack range. So if you throw, like, a smoke screen down on top of her as the ult comes down, there's a good chance that you probably won't even get hit by her. It's definitely, like, William's a hard character, so, like, you kind of have to really work to get that kill, and you kind of have to do a lot, but I think that's kind of just how the character is. It's a little tough. I'll see if I can, here, I'll bring up the combo that I see Williams do a lot. Can't wait till full release, then low elo ranked will pop and it'll finally be my turn. Yeah, I can't wait till we get consistent rank pops. Back in, like, season 1, I used to play ranked at, like, 11 a.m, 12 p.m. Like, that was just the time that rank popped in the day. It was really nice. So for William, I'm just gonna do this with baseball. So I don't think I technically need items for it. But the combo I see a lot for William is that, like, if you know you're gonna hit your W, you ult on top and you throw your weapon skill down and kind of use your range like that. I think it's pretty good in terms of, like, how much damage you can get down before. What am I looking for here? Remove cooldowns. How much damage you can get down before you get hit. I think, like, when Rousey's moving to the side, it's a little bit hard, but, like, if you have a baseball down and, like, you go for the W, I didn't have a baseball down, my bad. You can, like, kind of, like, move it to the side by walking. Like that. And it kind of, like, stuns, like, still. Like, it's definitely very hard to do. And I don't think it's easy in the slightest, but, like, that's kind of, like, what you have to do on William. And then just, like, as she moves, you move to each your baseballs. They last a lot longer, I think, than most people expect, so I don't know. That's the combo I see on William most, so, is, like, the WR combo. WR weapon skill. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm also not a very good William player, so I probably made that look not as smooth as it could be, but if you watch some KR games, you'll probably see it. I want to see how animal spawn locations and loot distributions will be with the map changes. Me too. I think that's the one thing I'm most excited for. Like, even more than the character changes, I want to see if, like, hunt rotations will make or break the game again. Because I think that's something that really separates, like, high and low elo, is the ability to farm mastery and be at hunts on time. It's like kind of sounds like such a small thing, but like if you looked at like any of the play like a pros we've done, it's such a big emphasis on like being on time to stuff. And like back in like season 5, that was like something like I really got obsessed with, and like that was like my thing, was like being able to track hunt timers like across the map, even if I wasn't in that zone. I do appreciate all you guys coming up the stream though. It's a bunch of new chatters I think I haven't seen, so I appreciate that a lot. If you've seen my community tab, I will be slowing down a little bit on videos just to prepare for the full release. Been trying to find a third character to add to your lineup. Who do you play besides William? What's your other character? Played the game since Alex's release. Oh, so quite a while now. I'm slowing down a bit on videos for this month, kind of taking a little bit of a break, but not too much. I'm going to continue with streams and probably shorts, but videos will slow down just as I get ready for full release. We have 21 videos between July and August that I'm trying to get ready for. Also have a few projects that I'm keeping a secret because they're with a collab. There are a few collabs that like I'm trying to keep on the low for now. But I got some really exciting stuff coming that I hope you all enjoy. Adriana was the character I started the game with and still play her to this day. She's my secondary now. William and Adriana, so it seems like you like playing from distance. What do we have? I think Adela kind of fits in there. She's a little bit weak at the moment, and well, I don't know. Adela never feels weak, but she's not bad. Have you tried out Ava? Ava kind of plays at the same distance. You might have a little bit better time with matchups. Adina, if you want something complicated. Emma even, but I'll never recommend this character because I hate this character. All those characters kind of just play at long range. Even Tia. I know a bunch of Adriana players seem to like Tia. So if like auto attacking on William isn't your thing, maybe try back to the spellcasters. Any of those I think work pretty well. Sniper Aya even. I've been on and off characters like Jackie, Felix, Cicella, Zahir, Ava, but I'm trying Fiora out right now. Oh, nice. So hopefully today's episode helped you with Fiora a little bit then. Before I tried out William, I was actually settling with Ava, funnily enough, but I haven't played her since Ava got released. I think she's in a rough spot personally, but I would like focus more on if she's your playstyle or not, rather than how good she is. Zahir is definitely another good pick. I think if you like long range, you just have to be super accurate with your spells. Tia is a little bit more forgiving. I would honestly, based on like Cicella, Ava, Adriana, even William a little bit, I would try out Tia. She has melee though, so, but she kind of just plays like a range character with her paint. She can be a little bit tricky, I think. She has a little bit of a learning curve to get to because your spells like auto switch for you. Ava was incredibly fun for me when I played her seasons ago. My queue popped, so I'll try her now. Good luck. I'm glad we're popping. Oh, I got 7 people online. Oh, apparently it's time to queue up. I would probably be queuing in a little bit, but thank you guys for coming out to stream. I appreciate it, as always. Hopefully you learned a lot. Talked about the importance of hunt rotations. Next week, we'll probably have a different topic. I might start doing 2 of these. Oh, actually, next week, I think I'll do coaching. So after the patch on Wednesday, try to get your games recorded, or not recorded. Try to get your games in so that in 2 weeks we can do coaching. And I think that's pretty much it. It's the only things I need to talk about at the moment. Some cool stuff is planned. Trying to play Camillo. Good luck with your Camillo game. But thank you all for stopping by, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. I will see you in a video hopefully coming out tomorrow or the day after. We'll have to see. But Have a good rest of your day.